New draw. Oh, it's a Barret ultimate weapon. Oh God, dude, I need this. I need this so badly. Oh boy. New draw. Step up draw, okay. Oh, shut up, when do I get that? Oh my God, dude. That's a wallpaper? We just get this as a wallpaper for free? Oh, and new stamps. Oh my God, Lily's gonna be so excited. Look at that, dude. She's gonna be so pumped. Oh, the shush. Ah, yeah. Yes. Yeah. Give. Wait. 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 Where is it? I'm so pumped. All right, let's look. Oh, dude. Yes. I'm so excited. I'm so excited, dude. It's just like, it's just a white dress with some flowers around the middle. F off, I love it. It's so good. It looks fantastic. Look, she's even got really cool shoes. I've walked in shoes like this. It is not easy to walk in shoes like this, man. Crazy. Oh, look at this. Ah, God, the detail, dude. Right, it's the meaning, that's right. This is the type of I love Square so much, dude. I love Square so much. I was just gushing about this on TikTok. The attention to detail in Rebirth specifically. I won't get into a whole bunch of Rebirth because I know there's a lot of folks that just started it. I think it's great. I love this outfit a lot. I think it's great. I think it's great. Let's start with the Gambanteinn. I think that's how you say that. I think I nailed it. I may not have. All right, so this is Heian++. I may have not nailed that either. Magic heal is cast 59%. Physical attack is increased when HP is 90%. This is exactly like her ultimate weapon, or her limit break weapon from the anniversary, except instead of defensive, it's offensive. With boost heal and buff debuff extension, which is fantastic. A heal boost slot and a sigil boost slot, which makes this a much more offensive weapon, which in that case, honestly, if you're bringing this along, you're probably bringing it for its offensive capabilities anyways. So having a sigil boost slot, totally fine with that. Means that they have a difference, right? There's a difference between this one and the Bahamut Rod. The Bahamut Rod is more for AoE healing and defensive capabilities. This one's more for offense. So yeah, obviously, if you have Bahamut Rod, this is not a necessary pull, right? You already have an AoE heal that gives you a defensive buff and also has the same effect. It has magic attack all allies instead of buff debuff extension, which is perfectly good. Like, it's a perfectly good, acceptable, but this is the physical version instead of the magic version, right? So it's definitely got its uses. Do you need it? If you have the Bahamut Rod, need is relative, right? If you've got Bahamut Rod and Kimura Wand, you already are able to do these things together, right? This is just an offensive version of the same weapon, right? So really, really strong. It's just as strong as Bahamut Rod was. It's just less strong slightly because it doesn't have boost magic attack all allies, and it has an offensive buff instead of a defensive buff that she already has access to, or already had access to rather. However, if you did not have Kimura Wand, and I have seen so many folks on YouTube that have told me that they don't have access to Kimura Wand, they don't have access to Kimura Wand, how am I supposed to clear it without the Kimura Wand? You have no excuse, it's right here. And it is 5 gauges, which is worse than Kimura Wand, objectively, and you have to cast it twice, which is worse than Kimura Wand, but it gets it done, right? It's healing you on top of it, it's giving you physical attack. If you get it up to the high overboost levels, you're getting ATB on top of it. This is fantastic. With heal and buff debuff extension, that keeps your physical attack buff on longer. A heal boost materia slot, this is a great weapon. Great weapon. The outfit itself gets ATB boost. Unreal. ATB boost 10, so it goes to level 2 right off the rip, which means she's starting the battle with 2.5 extra ATBs. Really? This is currently available only on Cloud's Nailbat. That to my knowledge. I don't think that's on anybody else at this point. So this means that she gets to start the battle off by buffing your entire team immediately. Soothing Song, buff debuff extension 40%, okay? And healing potency 10%. This is amazing. This is so good. So for folks that don't know, the buff debuff extension plus is a 60% boost. So this is slightly weaker than buff debuff extension plus, but it is still a unique 40%, which can be added on top of the weapon abilities, on top of giving her a 10% buff to her healing potency. This is a very good outfit. This is a very good outfit. This is, again, a more offensive pilled outfit because it gives you more ATB, lets you start getting rolling early, right? Which is good. Excellent, even. And then on top of that, she's got buff debuff extension on top of her buff debuff weapon with a really good heal, with a 10% boost to heal. This is a great outfit. It's great. It's great. This is always going to be a, like, as we've talked about with every single banner, when we talk about these type of banners, right? These are limited banners. These are limit break draws. As always, with every single limited draw, you should do at least one pull to have access to the weapon, just in case you want to use it down the road and want to use weapon parts. Always do at least one 3,000 crystal pull to get one of the weapons, right? In terms of whether or not you should pull on this banner, I'm going to give you the same advice this week as I'm going to give you next week. I would hang tight until the details about all 3 outfits and weapons are released. These are going to go through until the end of the month. You have more than enough time. You do not need to pull immediately. I would hang tight, figure out which one you want to invest in the most in terms of the outfit and the weapon, and then go for it then. I would wait completely. Obviously, if you are I love Aerith, I have to get Aerith right now, just pull, right? Don't wait. You know, it's a good weapon, it's a good outfit. There's no reason to wait, right? You like it, pull for it. Have fun, right? That's how this game always works. Always have fun first. But if you're trying to min-max, if you're trying to get the best option available, save your resources, wait 2 weeks for all this stuff to release. Once all this stuff comes out, make the decision then, right? As always, like I said, make sure you're doing at least the first pull to get that done. I see. Why are they featuring leather collar? That's weird. This is the Hellhound outfit. This is a rerun from 2024. The last time they had a Rebirth collaboration. They have buffed the boost HP from 10 to 15, which means they automatically get to the level 3 breakpoint, which is obviously very good. Flame Frost Fangs is okay at best. It's very, very good against Shiva and Ifrit specific boss battles, or summon battles rather. Any of the dragon fights that are not the poison dragon that do fire and ice damage, it's very good in those situations. Outside of that, it's pretty niche. It's not something that you're actively looking into. It's fine. I have it. I'll tell you right now, I don't use it very often, if at all. And the only reason why I used it before is because it's the only outfit I have for Red 13. So, yeah. Yeah, it did get buffed. It did get buffed. And this is the same quality of life buff that they're giving to all of the older outfits that have like weapon abilities attached to the outfit, right? And like I've mentioned before in the past, HP getting buffed from 10, where you were only getting 15% boost, to 15, where you're getting a 30% boost to your HP, plus 100 base. This is a big buff for your defensive capabilities, right? Big buff. Is it necessary? Is it something that you want for Red 13? No. Red 13 has had significantly better outfits than this ever since this one released. There's no reason to want this outfit over the ones that had released previously. So if you didn't pull on the outfits that he had before, likely you're not pulling on this one either, right? Is it bad? Certainly not. It has its uses, just like everything in this game has its uses. However, it is a little bit weaker compared to the remainder of the outfits and the options in the game. No, I think it looks great. Just stats. Because you're only getting 15% ability damage boost, and that's not enough in this game to really push him to a limit that it'll matter that much. Where Arcanums, which are the ones that most people pull on for like the big damage buff, those give 35% bonus damage. So like that's the difference. He's getting fire and ice, which is cool, right? Because he can use it for both, but he's getting significantly less of a boost and he only has one weapon that does fire damage at 750%, which is pretty low for fire damage at this point in the game. It's usable, but it's pretty low. It is a physical attack that has more magic attack than physical. The weapon does, which is wild. But it also means that Red 13 is rocking his main hand weapon in that case with a weapon that has low physical attack. I think it maxes out at like 470 something, which is not high. It's like 200 points behind what we consider high in this game. And so it's just Red 13 is not in a position to have also a reduced amount of ability damage. Now the fire resist and the ice resist is great. Don't hear what I'm not saying. It is great for the stages that you need fire and ice resist, but it's a little too nichey to invest your very, very hard to find blue crystals on. So we have one last thing to do before we jump into the wish list. Let's go ahead and take a look at Barret's ultimate weapon, Missing Score. All right, so Missing Score gives a new buff. So this is a physical and magic resistance all allies for 15 seconds. So what this does is this cuts the damage that your team is taking in half. This is massive, like massive. It's to the point where there are some fights where they are doing like 12 to 15,000 damage, and some folks were struggling to find a way to increase their defenses and resist to a point where they could get it down enough while also balancing HP to survive that attack. This now cuts it in half, which makes it so much easier to actually hit, right? So this is very good, especially on Barret, who is already a very important defensive unit for your team. Very, very, very strong. I like this a lot. Obviously, this only has 2 uses, so you have to make sure that you're timing this very well. You're probably timing this with a big attack like a heavy swing from the Astral Giant, the Bahamut fight when it's using those back-to-back body slams. This could help with that as well. So this is pretty cool. Magic defense, obviously very good. Enhanced Interruption Veil. Applies Veil to self when interrupting the enemy. Okay, so now Barret has access to Veil with this weapon. And every time you sigil break the enemy, you get a Veil equal to 25% of your maximum HP. This is ridiculously good. Ridiculously good. The only thing Barret's missing at this point is a Provoke to force the damage into his slot. But now that we've seen Glenn get a Provoke with his new ice weapon, strong possibility that Barret's going to be on the horizon. So food for thought. Very, very good ultimate weapon. Obviously, we don't pull for ultimate weapons specifically, but this is very, very good. Okay, so in terms of the wish list, this is another one that's pretty cut and dry for me. When it comes to the wish list, when it comes to pulling for Aerith specifically, whenever you're pulling on Aerith for an Aerith specific weapon, this is going to be the priority. And then whatever she's wielding in her offhand is either going to supplement this or is going to be a debuffing weapon, right? So obviously, if you already have Riot Blade, you're probably not looking at anything else, right? You could look for an offensive option if you wanted to. You want to look for something offensive, you can look for things like Egg Staff. You can look for things like the Sun Umbrella, which does both physical and magic defense down. You can look for additional deep or buffs for your team with something like Mithril Rod. Give yourself another physical defense and magic defense option. That's an AoE effect with boost magic defense as well, giving her a little bit more defensive stats, decent heal stat as well. That's an option. In terms of everything else, all of her weapons are pretty good. The only ones that I wouldn't prioritize are things like the Striking Staff, which is just a physical damage weapon. Even this has its uses with boost heal 62, right? Even this has its uses for a bigger heal, right? So a lot of Aerith's weapons are pretty good. I think the only ones I wouldn't pull for are Full Metal Staff, Striking Staff, which is the one that looks like a fork. The Wizard Staff is a pretty good sub weapon, but not really good for Aerith. And then this is also a decent sub weapon, but not necessarily good for Aerith as well. But basically the rest of her kit is great, right? They all have their uses. Snowflake isn't a very strong ice attack, but it does a magic defense down buff to high at OB6+. The Wind Prism Rod is not as strong as the other weapons in the game. However, it still does 800%, which is respectable, does enough. When single target with the Egg Staff, this gets up over 800% as well. But in an area of effect, this is the strongest area of effect magic fire damage, specifically magic at this point, because Yuffie's fire magic or fire physical weapon does a little bit more damage than this. I think it does 700% in an area of effect. But for magic, this is the highest. Citric Wand, obviously also very good. Does a magic attack buff to your allies, as well as an ice damage increase for when that matters. Floral Wand, same things. Does physical defense down, which is great. Great thing to pair. Also does 3 ATB, so it's super cheap. And when they're wind weak, it also reduces wind resistance, which is awesome. And yeah, there's everything in Aerith's kit is pretty great. So if there's something that you don't have at OB10 that you want to pair with a physically focused weapon, right? Something that boosts your entire team's physical attack, go ahead and pick basically whatever you want. If it was me, I'd probably look at something like the Floral Wand, something like the Sun Umbrella if you don't have it OB10, because both of those have the ability to debuff physical defense. And you're gonna want her to do things outside of this move when you already have a physical attack buff on, you don't need to heal, right? So you wanna make sure she's got something else on the docket that she's gonna be able to utilize. Past that, I would just prioritize anything on this wish list that you need to get to increase your physical DPS. So what that means is if you need to get Vincent's fire weapon, like Holiday Garm, because it does a whole bunch of physical fire damage, do it, right? Whatever you need to do to let Aerith get those characters up to the next level, I would just do it, right? Me personally, there's not a lot of Aerith's weapons that I don't have it like high overboost at this point, and there's nothing that I'm prioritizing super hard. So I'm actually just gonna leave all of the new holiday weapons on here, and I'm just gonna pull once because I wanna get one copy of the weapon no matter what. So we're just gonna do that one pull right now. We get 2 stamps, hog. We haven't seen an outfit in a gacha pull in a long time. All right, let's see it. Hey, my last set of gacha pulls were pretty bad, Cloud. Could you help me out here? Give me a little dodge.
No.
Yeah, all right. Cool. Well, I got one of the weapons, so I don't care. I don't care. It's whatever.